Hi, so I'm Rob Fortenberry, retired Army guy. So like any good Army guy, we got a room full of engineers. I make sure I bring the engineer with me so I can communicate kind of the company narrative and then turning over really discuss FLATT in its totality. So what we're here to talk today is about FLATT. And this is a brief overview of our company. We originally started in 2004. You can see our earnings, and we've expanded the company just over the last year and a half. We're 200 plus employees now with 2 facilities. We'd like to highlight, some of the DoD programs that we're currently on right now. And I think this is where as we explain FLATT, how FLATT would really be leveraged to some of the utility of these, primarily when you look into the SBIR framework and all of the components thereof of SBIR. And then the last one there is the Generalized Intelligent Framework for Tutoring. FLATT was built on the backbone of that. So it was designed off of that to create an easier user interface for the operators as they're designing adaptive learning tools to support the warfighter. So Dignitas kind of sort of way back when, but certainly transitioning a lot of the phase SBIRs. And this is a couple of examples of our mature SBIRs and kind of where they are within the portfolio of the Army, and in some cases and Navy. So we have the PIMA on there is a Navy program, and then with a lot of our geo mapping, our synergy really correlation tools that really support databases and maturing those ground air integration of databases. And our CyberBoss training tool, or Cyber BDA and CyberBoss training tools that really work within the synthetic training environment and helping us to really understand the effects of cyber for the warfighter. So I'm going to turn it over to you and we'll start talking FLATT.
Thanks, Robert. My name is Mitchell Gorse. I am an engineer on FLATT, and here is a high-level overview of how FLATT works. On a high level, it receives data from a given ITS or intelligent tutoring system and allows the user to play with that in what we call the FLATT authoring tool, and I'll get into more of that later. And then during a live session, a live training session, observers and researchers can view a more deeper level of how that training session is going and even adapt it in relation to how the trainee is doing. And then it gathers data during those training sessions and builds those into an after action review is what we call it. So you can review the session afterwards and see like improvements or what went well, what didn't go well. But on a more basic level, FLATT is a web-based application that allows for a simple and quick authoring of what we call rules. And rules are what determine how a virtual training environment, or VTE, or even a synthetic training environment, STE, can change and alter based off of what the rule says and how the training session is supposed to go. And FLATT was also designed to be extremely modular. So right now, Rob already mentioned GIFT, and FLATT has been built to work with GIFT very easily, but it can work with pretty much any given ITS or STE or VTE. And that's not a very complex task to do, to build it out to work with those type of environments. But to the rules are the base engine of how FLATT works, where they build out a sort of very basic if-then format for how a training session is supposed to go. So for example, if is called the trigger, and that could be anything from like if a heart rate reaches a certain level, or if they reach a certain location, and then it goes to the then, which is what we call the customization, which is just basically how you want the environment changed. It could start raining, the actor could teleport, a lot of different options there. And they're all built through what we call the FLATT authoring tool, a very simple and easy to use graphical format to help build out a flow of logic for a given training environment. So everything received from the ITS is built out into what we call a chart object, and they're all represented in colors and, build out to the left, from the left to the right in the trigger to build towards a customization, and then right to left in a customization. And it's built out with a lot of different tools to use to make things easier and quicker for like rapid prototyping and quick changes on the fly. FLATT also provides a lot of live session tools, such as live sensor graphs. So like you can track a trainee's breathing rate or their heart rate in real time as a session is happening. And you can also track how a rule is going in real time. So the chart objects will glow green if they're active and glow red if they're inactive. So you can see like if they've reached location, if they're not, reaching a certain level. And if they're like getting close, or you kind of just want to see how something changes, you can change that in real time and make that evaluate to true no matter what. And you can even additionally add on more rules to that. So if you see like in a simulation, a trainee keeps pointing their gun towards their teammates, you can add on a new rule to that of like, if you point your gun to your teammates too much, then you can cancel that session. You can give them feedback. You can just fail them. There's a lot of different options you can do. It's very quick and adaptive. And we also have the after action reviews for the post session. So afterwards, like I mentioned earlier, you can review this data to see maybe better improvements, what worked, what didn't work. And that includes like, sensor data. So if there's like a session, a point in the session that every trainee had like a high heart rate, or like we have rules as well there. So sometimes a rule has been triggered. If there was any operator interventions, if observers had to step in to do something, that's all tracked and can all be observed from the AR reviews, and you can tell how a course went. And that's the basics of FLATT. I'm going to toss it back over to Robert to discuss more commercialization.
Yeah, so with respect to the commercialization aspect, TSS TMT, we're currently a sub on that program, and we are the lead gift integrator for within the TSS TMT framework. So, as the Army is kind of evolving that, worked on SVT, a project with the soldier virtual trainer, moved off of that program, but more importantly, as the team kind of started to put FLATT together, I'm seeing this as a 28-year senior NCO in the U.S. Army, and its ability for that operator to be able to author rules, change rules, adaptations to the environment, keep it simple, stupid methodology, which as an infantryman, that is literally what we live by. So really where I, as an instructor, drill sergeant, you name it, I can adjust and make adaptations to the rules based upon the environmental changes that I'm executing. And so that's where we certainly see FLATT as that next layer of gift, where gift is behind the scenes. We can leverage FLATT kind of up front to allow the instructor or the trainer to be able to make adaptations and adjustments to the rules in real time. So thank you.